Welcome back. We're here with Dr. Renee Renardi talking about the art of forgiveness. All right, so let's talk about the differences. Potentially, maybe I'm missing something here, but men and women, do we deal with the art of forgiveness differently?
There can be. Of course, everybody is different, so you can't always generalize things. And I think just knowing how you process your emotions yourself, whether you're a man or a woman, but I think that there can be some differences there, which in a marriage where it's a man and a woman marriage, it's something that you may really notice some differences, that maybe the guy, I got over that a long time ago, and the woman continues to hold on to it. And that's where communication is so important too, as we move through. So asking for forgiveness, really processing something that happens in relationships. So whether it's a work relationship, a marital relationship, I think there's lots of situations that it's important to step out of that. When we don't always have that ability to sit down with that person, maybe that person isn't a very nice person and we don't want to sit down with him, or that just wouldn't be productive. Forgiveness isn't about changing the other person, okay? So forgiveness is this process that you go through on your own, and there are some steps to forgiveness too that I think are useful to go over. And the first thing is just to remember that this is for you, so that that angry feelings just kind of eat away. They're toxic to the person that's holding them. Okay, so I think realizing that anger just isn't adaptive. Another thing that you can do is, if you really want to make your enemies mad, live a happy life, right?
Right.
So take it and move forward. So really invest in your future and what you need to do. Doing something positive that happens out of a tragic situation, or when somebody has wronged you. Hopefully it empowers you to do something else. And I think in a fight or a situation where we're hurt, to try to notice some positives that maybe happened then too. So it's so easy to group everything together. So if you're in a fight with your spouse, to be able to put them all in, no, I don't like them, and this is everything that's wrong with them. That's important to have balance with that, and to, as it applies to that situation, and of course how it applies to that entire person. Accepting help from others sometimes is necessary. Sometimes it's difficult to really process this on your own. So that's where couples counseling could be helpful, especially if there's a buildup, right? So of resentment and lots of hurt that's never been processed, and you haven't quite gotten to on the forgiveness list yet. But it's going to be toxic for that person and for that relationship. So sometimes it is necessary to get other people involved in order to move forward from that.
Any suggestions or sort of ways to sort of look at, okay, yeah, I think I've let this go? Like, how do I know that?
I think when you notice that you're not thinking about it as much, when you're not as reactive to that person, and when you can make good wishes for them. And I think that's another step in that process, is that it's sending out a while back we did the loving kindness meditation, where you send out loving kindness to somebody who you're upset with. And when you can do that and you're not gritting your teeth while you're doing it, I think that's a good indicator that you've moved past it. You're not talking about it anymore. You're not feeling this need to bash that person to others, or guess what they did to me, type of, I think that those are good indicators that you've moved on. In severe traumas, it'll help improve post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms, reenactment, these fearful responses that people experience, and that feeling of victimhood, right? So I think that when you've gone through a difficult life situation and you feel like a victim, you always feel like a prisoner to the act or to that person. So forgiveness helps to empower you so that you can move past that.
So if you find yourself always thinking about the situation, is it a matter of and you want to forgive, just repeat it in your head until it sort of just goes away? Or
yeah, I think it's trying to understand where that person was coming from, right? So, and just by having a good conceptualization of, where's this person coming from, what's going on, why did they act that way, would I act that way if I were in their shoes, that can help kind of loosen that up. And you just notice that you're not holding that tight feeling anymore when you think of that person, or when you see them, you don't have this reaction. You're able to focus on other things. You just feel happier in general too. You don't have that anger and resentment and hostility.
The Art of Forgiving, Dr. Renee Renardi, thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your time.
Sure.
We'll be right back.